Ah, so everyone, we are recording, and we can edit the recordings if anything goes wrong, but we are recording. That way we can put this onto our on-demand video, and also will live on the World Union YouTube site, so that this moment, this conference can live on, and especially this session, which for me has been one of the highlights of putting the conference together, is anticipating being back with Harvey and Rosita. They are the amazing members of UHC, of United Hebrew Congregation in Singapore, who host Saturday morning services in their home. And the services are great. And the spread afterwards is better than any New York deli, and better than the other kind of restaurant that you'd get anywhere in the world, because it combines it all, melds it so beautifully. And really, it's a Temple Sinai post, getting hungry looking at the ingredients, and I am as well. So Rosita, over to you, and thank you so much for being part of the World Union Convention. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's my honor. Should we start now? Yeah.
Please.
Shalom, everyone. My name is Rosita Goldstein. A little bit about myself. I was born and educated in Jakarta, Indonesia, and Indonesian language is my mother tongue. I'm married to Harvey. He's from New York, but if you ask him where is he from, he says he's not only from New York, but he's from the cultural heartland of the United States, which is Brooklyn. And we have 4 children. Brandon is 24 years old. Bradley is 23 years old. Tiffany is 16 years old. And they are now in Boston, United States. Our youngest one is Stephanie. She's 14 years old. She's here with us. Both of our boys have graduated with honors in mechanical and biomedical engineering degrees. And now they're taking their masters, and while they're working professionally as engineers. And all 4 of our children have been bar and bat mitzvahed here in Singapore under United Hebrew Congregation. The 2 boys were bar mitzvahed under Rabbi Lenitol. He's from New York. And by the way, I was also converted with Rabbi Lenitol and went to the mikveh in New York. The 2 girls were bat mitzvahed with Rabbi Nathan Alfred. He is now in Jerusalem. Speaking about Jerusalem, we would like to pray for we always pray for our friends and family in Israel for their safety, and for Israel peace and security. Regarding our Jewish community UAC in Singapore, we are waiting with excitement for our very own 2 rabbis, Rabbi Benny and Rabbi Miriam, and their family to come to Singapore. And hopefully this pandemic will end soon, so we can welcome them personally. And I know Rabbi Benny and Rabbi Miriam, you were there, so I really cannot wait to cook for you a kosher local delights. Okay, let's start cooking. Our first recipe that I would like to show you how to, oh, by the way, I'm sure some of you already have this that I sent it via WUPJ, and they posted in their website. This is all the recipes and the ingredients that we needed for today. So our first recipe is the famous Singapore chili crab. You hear me right, it's a crab, but not to worry, my crab has no claws and has no shell. I'll show you my crab. Whoa. Here is my crab. My crab has gills and scales. Okay, let me get a quick wash. As you all may know that Singapore is famous for many different kind of local dishes, but chili crab is the most famous one. In fact, chili crab is considered as a Singapore original. And chili crab has been promoted by Singapore Tourism Board as one of national dishes. And you can find it in any seafood restaurant in Singapore. So I created this crabless chili crab. So even though there is no crab in it, we still can savor the delicious flavor of sweet and spicy from the chili sauce, along with the nice juicy chunks of fish. So here is the ingredient for our crabless chili crab. 700 grams of skinless and boneless. I'm using white snappers. This meat is really nice. It's firm outside, but yet nice and flaky and soft inside. And a quarter cup of flour. And I put here half a cup of vegetable oil to fry the fish later on. This I already heat it up while we waiting to prepare the ingredients. And this is all the ingredients that need to be ground. The lemongrass, shallots. You can see like this. Shallots, garlic, ginger, and 5 big chilies. If you would like your sauce to be spicier, you can add more chili, the small called bird eye chili. Or if you don't like your sauce to be spicy at all, you just take out the seed of these chilies and you still get very nice red color of the sauce. And torched ginger flour, minced torched ginger flour. It looks like this. If you cannot find a torched ginger flour where you are, you can just use mint, chopped mint leaves. But you have to put that at the end after you finish cooking, so you still can get the flavor of the herbs. Egg, ketchup, and that's for later. We're gonna sprinkle on top coriander leaves. Okay, let's. I just want to pound this lemongrass. We don't want to mash it because we just want to get the flavor and the oil. The oil will release the flavor, the fragrance, and the aroma from the lemongrass. You can pound it with anything, with the back of your knife or with mallet, like this. This is a mortar to grind all kind of ingredient. In the old days, we used to use this. They still use this in Indonesia, where I come from. Okay, just like this, and put it aside. Now we're going to cut our fish into big chunks. Let's prepare our flour first to coat it. It's a big bowl. And then a pinch of salt. Pepper. Mix it together. We're going to cut our fish into big chunks before we coat it with flour. Why we cut it big chunk like this? Just to just pretend, just like the size of a crab claw. Small slices, it won't taste so good. Okay. Tina. By coating the fish with the flour, not only adding flavor in the fish, also will help to seal in the juice in the fish. Our oil is getting hot, and we want to fry this in a high heat oil and high heat stove. So we're just gonna cook the outside, make it brown and crispy, but not fully cooked inside, because we want to cook it again later in the chili sauce. It's ready to be fried. A little bit more. Okay. We don't want to overcrowd the pan because otherwise we boil our fish. Okay, I would like to tell you how the chili crab start to be developed in Singapore. In early 1950s, there was a lady, she's Singaporean. The husband often came home with crab that he caught it from the sea. So every time the husband came home, she always cooked the crab by steaming it. Eventually, the husband became bored of eating a steamed crab. So she began saute the crab with chili and tomato sauce. And that dish became a hit in the family. And they introduced the dish to the neighbors, and the neighbors also loved it and persuaded them to sell it commercially. And in 1956, they start to sell the crab with the push cart, the chili crab with the push cart. And because business was so good, in 1962, they opened a restaurant called Palm Beach by the seaside called East Coast in Singapore. Then 1986, they sold some of the share and they migrated to New Zealand. Until now, the restaurant is still famous as the chili crab. The fish is ready. I'm gonna just turn it over. Okay, let me take this out. Okay, now let's fry our next batch of the fish. Chili crab in Singapore, in the restaurant, usually eaten with the bare hand in order for the diner to be able to take out the meat out of the shells. And chili crab usually eaten with the mantau. It looks like this, or Chinese bun. This is been fried. So this mantau is used to scoop the chili sauce from the chili crab instead of spoon. And the restaurant usually will provide the diner with wet tissue or a bowl with water with lemon or lime in it. And that way the diner doesn't have to leave the table after they eat. They can just wash and clean their hands there and go to the next course. I think this is fine. Any questions so far?
How can I be hungry at 10:15 at night? I didn't know it was possible.
What do you say? How can you be hungry?
Okay, say again, Rabbi. Say again.
How can I be hungry? It's 10:15 at night here. We ate plenty and now I'm hungry again.
I'll send Uber. Uber food. If it's close, I'll send it via Uber. Okay, I think the fish is ready. let's we're gonna get our
And Rosita, how do you know when the fish is ready? Is it like a certain amount of time, or is it about the color, or how do you tell when you're frying?
just I can see it's dry already, the flour, the outside of the fish.
It doesn't mean it's ready to
Yeah,
eat.
but it's not ready to eat, just a half cook, because we want to cook it again later with the sauce.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, so just to seal the outside of the fish.
Okay.
But if you use a very high heat stove, like usually I use with the fire stove, have fire in it, like gas stove, the fish will come better, have brown color on the outside. Now we put a 2 tablespoons of oil, because we're going to make our sauce. One tablespoon is enough. It's not much. Okay, now we're going to saute our. Just going to be. The other one gonna sneeze because the chili gonna have a pungent smell.
Is this smell of it?
Get ready. Okay, we're gonna saute this until it's fragrant. Should be in the just medium heat, not too high. Wait until it's fragrant. Now chili crab, not in the restaurant in Singapore, seafood restaurant, they not only serve chili crab, they have different kind of sauce they put that they discovered now that they make like white pepper crab, black pepper crab, butter crab. They even have a salted sauce crab made from the salted egg is like duck egg, and then I remember I used to make that in the school. You sand it, the outside, sand it with sandpaper, so you get the pores in it, and then mix the salt and the ash together, and then you wrap it around the duck egg and leave it just in the room temperature for a few days. Then you get the salted egg. Okay, I think so. Now we can put our water. If you want more sauce, you can add more water. Our ketchup.
I can smell it from here.
Ketchup. And the lemongrass. The torch ginger flower, already been minced. Let's add some salt and pepper. Salt and pepper always go together. I think if you have the little kids, I don't know if they still have a show called Blue's Clues. I used to watch it with my children. I always have Mr. Salt and Mr. Salt and Mrs. Pepper. Okay, now let this sauce let it boil before we put our fish. Okay, well, we're waiting this sauce to be boiled. Anybody have any question? No? That's good. Everyone are good cooks. Make my job easy. Okay, just a little bit sugar because this sauce is a bit sour from the ketchup. So we have a sweet and spicy sauce. Starting to boil now. If you cannot find a pot of ginger, you don't have to use it. It's okay to. It's still going to taste delicious. Yeah, it's starting to boil. Now we're gonna put our fish gently into the sauce. But first, let's taste it first. We need a little bit more salt. A bit more sugar. Let's put our fish in. Let's put it. Yeah. So just let the fish cook for a few minutes. So while the fish is being cooked, we're going to prepare our egg. This egg is used as a thickening agent. And then just dip the egg. Make sure you stir the sauce gently because we don't want to break the fish. The fish is ready and the sauce is being boiled. So you want to pour this egg in the sauce. So while you're pouring the egg, we just want to stir it. So we got all the egg around the sauce and make the sauce thicker. If you just pour it like that, it will have a omelette on the fish in the chili sauce. Okay, now we're going to mix it gently. As you can see, the sauce has become thick now. Yeah, our crabless chili crab is ready. It's very easy, right? To make it. It takes less than 10 minutes. Now it's done. Let's put it in the serving dish. If you would like to know how to the recipe, how to make this mantau or Chinese bun, please let me know, and I'll let WUPJ know, and I'll send it via WUPJ. Let's put it in the serving dish. Put it gently, because you don't have to have a runaway fish. Fish is swimming in the very nice red sauce. Okay, let's put the coriander leaves. You can sprinkle it, or if you're using mint chopped mint leaves, you can just sprinkle around it before you serve it. And here we are, our crabless chili crab with mantau bun. Ready. Any questions? Any question before we start to the next recipe?
So Rosita, I mean, I think we do want the bun recipe, definitely.
Okay.
And I see Carrie pointed one in the chat, but we'll I don't know if that's your recipe or not. So we'll ask. So if you can send me, we'll also put it in on the event site. It'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we need to do a taste test online so
You have
that
to.
so others can
Yes.
at least live vicariously? But how should we do
Is it done?
It's done.
this stuff?
Yeah.
Rosita, how many chilies did you put in?
Put 5 chilies, the big chilies,
But that's not very hot.
but it's not very spicy.
Small chili.
This one is very spicy. But if you don't like spicy, but you still can get the red color from the skin, the chili skin, just take out the seeds of the chili.
Did everybody get the close-up of this as well?
Yeah.
Before I take it away.
He loves this stuff.
Yeah.
That's it.
How come you got the job? How come you got
Yeah.
the bad job
I
today?
got the excellent job. Did everybody see the close-up?
Yes.
Look how beautiful this is.
Ah,
It's amazing.
Bring it a little closer, Carrie. A little closer.
Closer? Let's see. Can we-
Closer.
Wow.
Closer. Closer.
You can't reach through the camera as much as you might like to. I'm trying to get my hand out of
Yeah. and this is
Challenge
the bun.
accepted.
the way.
Okay, let me get this
Take
out of
it
the
down.
way. So I'll get the next ingredients. Okay. Here is the next ingredient for
What is
our
this?
next recipe.
What recipe?
Is Indonesian chicken satay.
Oh, wow.
Because that one's from fish. Okay, I'll show you the finished product of the satay. How do you forget? Here is the satay.
They cannot see it.
It's in the
Can you tilt it?
yeah. Satay is meat or seafood marinated and put it on a bamboo skewer or wooden skewer, then cook it in the charcoal grill. But what the satay that I would like to show you how to make it today, we're not going to use charcoal grill. I'm going to searing it on the pan. That way I can get the nice brown and crispy of the satay on the outside. And then after I'll put it in the oven for 180 degrees Celsius oven for 10 minutes. And that way we still can get nice and juicy meat in the inside. So I use this this method of cooking of the satays because I used to make it so many satays in one time. For example, during WUPJ conference 2 years ago, maybe some of you were here. I made over 200 satays. So after the meat being marinated and put it in the skewer a day before, I will sieve them on the pan, then put it in the airtight container, keep it in the refrigerator. So the next day, I just line them in a baking pan and cook it in the oven 180 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes before I serve it to the guests. So that way, you get nice warm satay with the crispy outside and juicy meat inside. So let me put this one first. So the ingredient for our satay is Here's the main ingredient, the peanut. Later we're going to make the peanut sauce. But let me get the brown sugar. Brown sugar, or you can use brown sugar, or you can use, here easy to get the gula melaka. But if you cannot find gula melaka, you can just use brown sugar. Soy sauce, dark soy sauce. We don't want the salty one, the light one. We want the dark one. It tastes very sweet. And this is actually it's only a fresh shallot. I slice it very, very thin and coat it with flour, just dry flour, no water in it, a little salt, then deep fry it. It look like this.
Sorry, did you just say, Rosita, that the darker soy sauce is sweet rather than salty?
Yes, yes, dark soy sauce.
Oh,
Sweet soy sauce.
I wonder if we can buy
Yeah,
that.
there is a sauce, like so many sauces with the brand Kikkoman. That's salty. But if you can find the sweet one, I bought it once. I think in the US there's a kosher Kikkoman sweet sauce.
Okay.
It tastes sweet. Yeah.
I'll look for it. Thank you.
Yeah. And this the ingredient that need to be ground. Gula melaka. I cut it into pieces so like that it'll be easy, dissolve very easy when we cook the sauce. Here is calamansi juice. The calamansi fruits. We're gonna squeeze it to make a calamansi juice for our marinated and for the sauce. This calamansi have a very strong fragrance. It's not like lime or lemon, and the acidity is higher than lemon. So if you cannot find this calamansi where you are, you can use key lime juice. It's also good. And spicy chili, bird eye chili. If you don't want your sauce to be spicy, you can use. You don't have to use the chili. It'll be fine. It'll be good too. But sometimes I have a guest that don't like spicy. I also don't use chili.
We just don't
Shallot.
invite them anymore. We won't invite the guests that don't like spice.
Shallot, garlic, and here is candle nuts. In Indonesian cooking, we use a lot of candle nuts. They use it as to make the sauce to be thick. You can put it in a curry, or in the old days in Java. That's how people use it. But you cannot just eat it like that. It's quite toxic. If you eat too much, you can really get sick. Okay, the ingredient after we grind it. Here is the ground ingredient. Let me get the chicken. Make our sauce later. Yeah, just took out the chicken from the refrigerator. So here is 500 grams of chicken, boneless, skinless chicken meat. I use a dark meat. You can use any part of the chicken as long as you wash it and pat dry it before you marinate it. Now we can put the marinated ingredient. I have it here. I use what I use for the coriander, instead of coriander powder, I use the coriander seeds, toast it in a pan, and then I grind it. And I put one garlic. The lime, the juice from calamansi. I think 2 is enough. little bit of oil. The stove is turned off. Salt and pepper. You don't want too much salt because you're going to put soy sauce. Because soy sauce have a bit salty. Not they sweet, but they still taste a bit salty. And pepper. In Indonesian cuisine, we use a lot of white pepper instead of black pepper. And by the way, I got this chicken from kosher shop. Here in Singapore, we're very blessed that we can find kosher meat in the kosher shop at the Maganabor, which is a Orthodox synagogue. So you can find all kind of meat, all kind of ingredients, even cream, that dairy and non-dairy, everything. Snacks from Israel, meat from Australia, from New Zealand. You just name it, they will have it. Now we put our soy sauce. Just gonna mix it together.
With your hands?
Yeah, with my hand. My hands is clean. I've been washing it so many. Okay.
Questions?
We're supposed to marinate this meat at least 2 hours, or overnight is best. So you can get all the spices go through the meat. Okay, now let me wash my hands before we start putting it on the skewer.
Rosita, could we do this with tofu for those
Oh
vegetarian
yeah,
and vegan
yes,
folks?
that's a good question. My mother always make the satay vegetarian at home. So she used the firm tofu or tempeh. I think in the US now they have a lot of tempeh outside the supermarket. So you can use either tofu or tempeh.
Excellent.
She tried mushroom once. It didn't come out right.
I'm glad we can benefit from her mistakes.
Yeah. Okay, let's put this on the skewer. We can use a bamboo skewer or wooden skewer. I have it here, both. In Indonesia, satay, the most popular one is chicken and lamb satay.
I did see somebody make satay with impossible meat as well, by the way. Making like a kofta, like a meat hamburger, and then skewering it as an alternative.
But my father preferred to have a lamb satay.
Like some
Yeah, my father prefer lamb satay, but no peanut sauce. I don't know why. He's not allergic to peanut, but he just don't like peanut sauce. And this brown sugar, I don't know if you ever find this, you ever see this. Like this, very sweet, tastes like candy. Okay, and smell like a coconut candy.
Oh.
Yeah, so when you know, like, especially me, when I chop it, I always take a bite. It's so nice. So when I was a little girl, when I used to help my mother, I always said, "Do you need someone to chop the brown sugar?" So I will be able to just take a bite of it.
You should get more to Harvey to sweeten them up.
He's already sweet.
That's just because you're on camera.
Yeah. So in Indonesia, when I was a little girl growing up in Jakarta, there are satay seller coming around the neighborhood every evening. They will wear a striped black and white shirt inside, and the outside will be dark thin vest. It's not a vest, like a shirt, but no button, black color. So he will carry a two portable kitchen counter. One side will be the plate and a bucket of water to wash their plate, spoon, fork, and the other side will be chicken satay, lamb satay, and all the ingredients, and then they will carry a small charcoal grill. So we'll go around the house and screaming satay, satay, and then you will hear it from your home. If you feel like having satay, you just call them, and this satay seller will come to your veranda in front of your home and just barbecue the satay for you.
Wow.
You can use their plate, or you can use your own plate. Some people use their plate because they don't want to wash dishes. And then this satay guy will go in the park, everywhere. Nowadays they don't have that anymore. They use a push cart, and not many and they don't go around the houses because many restaurants and small shop already selling satay, and easy to get satay. Because they have Grab food, they have Uber food. So yeah, it's not as fun like it used to be. So let me just heat up the pan while. You can use a grill pan or you can use just a regular pan. I think we need to open the other one.
Should I close this door?
Yeah, that's in there while I'm doing this.
Then close this one. I think just in the kitchen.
Okay, I just. This is going to be many satay. Probably I have another stove there.
Another one.
Yeah, stove. Because I think this overheated.
So where did the box?
Yeah, just take it out in the living.
Where is?
Excuse me. Yeah. Many countries in Asia, they claim that satay originally come from their home country. But if you research it, the history of satay, it does come from Java, Indonesia. In the 18th century, the Indian Muslim trader brought their kebab to Java, Indonesia. And there, the people in Java, Indonesia developed the kebab and changed the ingredient to the local ingredient. And that satay was born. But like a few years ago, I told Harvey about that the satay originally from Java, Indonesia, and he think I was just being nationalistic. He didn't believe me until he searched it himself.
Rosita, is it satay because of the sauce? It's not just the kebab, it's also like the peanut sauce with it? Or is it anything on the stick is satay if it's from...
Anything on the stick is satay.
Okay.
But most countries in Asia, they use similar sauce, like peanut sauce. But it's just different, the ingredient in it. Like Singapore also have their own satay. It is one of the national dishes. So this, yeah, that's still hot. It is overheating. Thank you, Karen.
Yeah, can I take this one?
Yeah.
Could you hold it? Could you hold the
So,
wire?
in Singapore,
Yeah.
there's a very interesting place. This in the middle of downtown, that's very busy with cars, trucks, and all kind of vehicles during the day. But every single day at 6:30 p.m., they will close this street and they put tables and chairs around it, and along that street, they have like 12 satay stalls. And each stalls have numbers in it, number 1, number 2, and so on. And each stall competing with each other. So in the minute you sit on the chair, the waitress or waiter from the stall will come to you and show you the menu and the photo of celebrities that have been eating there. hoping that you will buy from their stall and try to tell you that their satay is better than other stalls. Okay, we're going to a little bit more. You can put 3 or 4.
This will work again, just shut off.
I like this bamboo skewer better because you can hold it very comfortably instead of the long one like this. Put this long one because I just have a few pieces left here. Okay. Now we're going to,
Watch that thickness.
yeah.
Oh,
Is it
actually,
the-
what's the maid's name, Mom? What's the maid's name? Flo? Come, come.
Carrie,
Mom, give it to me.
what happened to the stove?
Ambil ini. Kotor.
Not the other side. The other one. Or we just stay to the wall.
Something loose.
No, we just try to-
Is it on or not?
Sorry for that. Ah, thank you, Carrie.
It's okay?
It's okay now. Okay, let's heat our pan up. Heat it up in the very high heat. Yeah. Okay, while we wait for this, let's prepare our ingredients for the sauce. The main ingredient is the peanut, raw peanut. To make the sauce, we have to cook the peanut first. Either you deep fry it, or the healthier choice, you can just lay it on a baking pan. I'll show you. Just lay them in the baking pan. Next is all one layer. You don't want to be, so we can get, you don't want them on top of each other, so we can have a very nice even cook. You can hear that up there. You can hear up there. Okay, just put a half a tablespoon of oil or less. Then you mix it around, so make sure all the peanut are coated with oil. And then you put this in the 170-degree oven, Celsius oven, for 20 minutes. After 10 minutes, you take it out of the oven, mix it around again, and put it back another 10 minutes. That way you get very nice, evenly cooked peanuts. Our pan is hot. Let's just spray it with oil. You can just use the brush. See? You hear that sound? It's the hot pan. Don't want to overcrowd the pan. If you're using, if you want to cook it in the charcoal grill, make sure you soak the bamboo or the wooden skewer in the water while you're preparing the ingredient before you put the meat in. That way, the bamboo or the wooden skewer won't get burned while you grill it. It gets brown very quickly. I'm gonna lay it on a baking pan. Indonesia is a big country, has 1,000 islands. For example, and they have different kind of sate in each island. So for example, in Bali, the famous of sate lilit. Lilit means wrap around. So instead of they using a wooden stick or bamboo stick, they use lemongrass as a stick. And then they use the meat is not like chunk of meat, but they use minced meat or seafood. They put all the spices in it, marinate it, then they wrap it around in lemongrass like this. So I'm sure some of you have been to Bali. Next time you go to Bali, try the famous Bali satay in Bali.
Yummy.
I have only one. They get brown very quickly in the outside. That's why I can make this a lot of satay very easy, very fast. Oh, Stephanie, can you help me put this in the oven? In the oven, 180 degrees in the middle. Yeah. Now let's make our peanut sauce. Here is the peanut that
See, Rosita's sous chef.
yeah. Tuna. Here's the ingredient that have been browned. Now this is the peanut, the ground peanut. And the ingredient that have been browned. Maybe this one is better. Just gonna put a little bit oil to saute all the brown ingredient. 1 tablespoon is enough because the peanut already have lots of oil and it contains a lot of oil. So again, these ground ingredients, it was candle nuts, bird eye chili, shallots, and garlic. Now we saute it. Smells really good. It's too strong. The chili. No, I'm okay. I'll put our peanut. Water. A quarter cup. A quarter and a cup of water. Stir it. It looks like they're separated, but at the end, all gonna get thickened. You can put all the ingredients now.
Smell punch. What is that?
Chili. Because it smells pungent because when you fry the chili, it's really, it's like a choking feeling, yeah.
great smell.
Yeah.
Trying to get your points.
Yeah.
I love fried chicken.
Put the brown sugar. The brown sugar will melt.
You should have bought out.
Soy sauce.
I like my potatoes.
Around just
Disco.
2 tablespoons. And then we're going to put the calamansi juice, but at the end. Let me prepare the calamansi juice for the calamansi. Now we're gonna add salt and pepper. Not too much salt, we'll test it later. Ito lang daw. In Indonesia, traditionally, satay is eaten with this rice cake. Is rice that cook in banana leaves, and a pickle called achar is a pickle of shallot, cucumber, and carrots, and they put also green chili because everything have to be spicy there. And before you serve it, after you lay
Can you take a picture?
you lay the satay, just
This is gonna be
sprinkle it with the soya sauce and the shallot.
Not the woman.
The fried
just the
salad.
food.
This bowl is empty. This bowl is made from the coconut shell and lined with the mother pearl inside. The satay sauce is ready. Let's taste it. You just have to let it cook for a while to get thickened. Very easy, right? Very simple and very fast. So any question so far?
My only question so far is about cheating about the peanuts. I mean, we can buy roasted peanuts. Is it better to toast your own and roast them yourself?
Yes.
Or-
You can do that, but make sure it's not salty.
Okay.
Yeah. Salt. The sweetness is already perfect. Now let's get the calamansi juice. Let's turn on our stove. Always put the juice at the end. Yeah. Now our satay sauce is ready. It's ready to serve. Spoon. Spoon. When the sauce cool down, the sauce will get thicker. This is enough for now. Okay. Here's our satay. And let me show you how the rice cake look like. This is how usually they serve it. They will just cut it like this. And some people just eat it by, after they take a bite of the satay and they use the skewer to take the rice cake. So again, if you would like to have the recipe of the rice cake and the pickle, please let WUPJ know and I'll send it via WUPJ.
Please do. And also, Rosita, there's a question asking if you can move the plate closer to kind of where the mortar and pestle is, so we can see it the other way. So we can see it on that beautiful close-up cam. It's right there.
You want to take the mortar and pestle away?
Yeah, could you move it? Stan?
Move it.
Wow. It's beautiful.
Is that better?
Yeah, put the cut
I
one
mean,
here.
it's better, except I'm with Rabbi Benny, where it's you want to reach through and grab a stick. That's the.
Hey, Rabbi Benny wants to get out here.
Hopefully next month.
I
How about Rabbi Thor? Are you there, Rabbi?
Yeah, Rabbi Thal was, he's here. He's just not in the camera now. I was gonna say, it's so many colors. I love it.
So many colors.
Yeah, it's beautiful, right?
And the ingredients is very simple. Not too many. No, there's just sprinkle the.
So many
Let's
pieces.
see. Let's we can do.
In Indonesia, we love our fried shallots.
Okay. Yeah, can you wait? He's gonna get a nice picture.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
Okay,
Yeah,
this
we
should
really
be,
know how- Look at Carrie. Wow.
this should be illegal what you're doing now, Carrie.
Well,
Okay.
not to make you feel any less privileged, but I get to taste it also.
Now, Rosita, do you pickle the vegetables yourself, or did you buy it like that?
I pickled them myself. I made this last week.
Is it in salt or in vinegar?
Vinegar, salt, and sugar. Just you have to boil it first.
Mhm.
The water, vinegar, and the sugar, and then when it get cool down, we start pouring it in the jar with all the vegetable in it, and I just put it in the refrigerator.
How long?
Last week, but this can stay longer because the acid and the vinegar make the vegetable stay longer. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rosita. There's questions about how to get the recipes that you're gonna send on the buns and the rice cake. So
Yes, and
everyone
the lontong.
on the website, you will find a section called kind of on-demand or resources, and we're going to make sure that we post the recipes there. If you don't get them, you can see my name, Rabbi Jordan Helfman. You can send me an email, and I will make sure to email them back to you. But we'll post them once we get them from Rosita onto the website, and we'll send them there.
Yes, I would like to thank everyone for joining the cooking session, and hopefully when all the pandemic over and we can travel again, please let us know when you come to Singapore and we will break satay together. And I would like to thank our president of UHC, Mr. Kerry Horenfeld. He's here helping us with all the technician support. So I'm really, really blessed to have him here today. And let me introduce you to Harvey.
Hello?
Harvey, would you come here?
Oh my goodness. I'm speechless.
But do not take the satay even though it's tempted. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I tried to tell everyone that Rosita married up, but she gave it away now, and I have to be honest that it's the other way around. You can see how fortunate my family is to have a real balabos.
How about Carrie?
And Carrie, I haven't married
Come
yet.
here,
but
Carrie.
come. Carrie does a marvelous job,
Yes.
and he has very little ego, so he gets on the floor
Yeah.
and he fixes what needs to be fixed.
As you see it earlier.
And he's holding our
This
daughter.
is the star of the show. The star of the show.
So here's our family, folks.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Rosita, for teaching
Thank
us
you.
and making us hungry. Really, it's beautiful seeing how you've taken the kosher traditions and Jewish traditions and made them your own in a really authentically beautiful Asian way. And the food that you make, really, it's a highlight of anyone's trip that is able to be with you at UHC. So really, thank you for sharing with us. And I look forward to when my family isn't asleep, cooking it and eating it and enjoying it
Yes.
a little bit at my house here. Thank you. And you have a cookbook, right, Rosita? You have a cookbook that you've put together?
Yes, yeah, I have a cookbook called My Secret Recipe, the first cookbook. My next cookbook is coming up soon. I was having, I'm aiming it for maybe next month. Will be mixture of Middle Eastern food and local Singapore food. There's so many really, really nice Singapore food that not kosher. So in that cookbook will be a kosher Singapore food.
So this is
Oh,
the
this
first.
is the first book.
Beautiful.